channel, and let's get into what I'm going to be doing potentially with some of my gold and silver in the next couple of months. Before I do, I just want to show off one of the pyramids I just made recently, and this one's just got some turquoise and other things. I won't go into full details of this. If anybody's interested in any of my pyramids, they could look at them. But this actually has stones in it that has to do with money making. So I actually thought this would be appropriate to put this pyramid into my conversation. And I might actually start doing that, showing off some of the pyramids that I have done so you could see what they look like. But as we've learned today, and it's not official yet, they haven't signed anything, but we see that the both sides of this joke political system that we have, the Republicans and the Democrats, supposedly came to a mutual beneficial agreement for themselves that will ultimately screw the country. And basically, they're kicking the can down the road, which means they haven't solved anything. They're not going to save the world. They're going to raise the debt ceiling and postpone all of the problems until, I think the date they agreed was February 7th of 2014. So basically what's going to happen is they're going to raise the debt ceiling, they're going to spend more money, they're going to create a higher amount of interest, they're going to kick the can down the road, and when February 7th comes along, we're going to do all of this over again, only now we'll owe more money, and basically they'll keep kicking it down the road until they can't do it anymore, and then we ultimately get screwed. So the longer they do it, the more painful this is going to be for all of us. So congratulations to the Republicans and Democrats and all of our lovely politicians. You're doing a great job protecting us. So what am I going to be doing with some of my gold and silver? Not all of it. So basically what I'm thinking about is utilizing 10% of my gold and silver. That's it. If provided certain things happen. Now the thing that we've seen, especially recently when they talk about this government shutdown and all the things with the debt ceiling, you see how the market tends to overreact with things. And you see a nice little downtrend with the gold and silver. Now, if this happens, and this is only if, and this has to happen before this year ends. If I see gold go above 1400, or I see silver go above 24, like I said, I'm going to sell approximately 10% or less of my position. So this is a gamble, it's a risk. So if somebody doesn't think it's a good idea, don't do it. I'm not telling anybody what to do, I'm just saying what I'm doing. So even if it doesn't work out, 10% is not a big loss. But if I see that, like I said, gold goes over 1400 and silver goes over 24, I'm going to sell the 10% of what I have, which of course I've spent less money than what I'm selling it for. And then what I'm going to do is just wait until the new year. Because what's going to happen is you're going to see Janet Yellen. She's going to be talking about, I can almost guarantee it, she's going to be talking about the situation with the Fed, and she's going to talk about sequester. She's going to talk about possibly taking QE away, which they can't do, but they'll certainly talk about it. The one thing we could count on with politicians is they'll say a lot of things that they won't do. They make a lot of promises they'll never keep. So we see how that negatively brings down the price of gold and silver. So what that will do for me, especially when we see what happened when we got close to the fiscal cliff and the debt ceiling, you see how the market panics, and for some reason they stay away from gold and silver, so it will be a perfect opportunity to buy back what I bought and be able to buy more of it with the same amount of money that I sold. Now again, I'm talking about 10% of what I have. I'm talking about only if those provisions happen. So if by the end of this year, I don't see gold raise to 1400 and I don't see silver go to 24, it could be one or the other. I mean, if only one works, I'll just use that particular metal. If that doesn't happen before the end of the year, then I do nothing. I just hold my position and wait for them to continually screw up to the point where gold and silver does rise. Because now that we see what happened with this government, and the rest of the world sees us pretty much as a joke at this point, and you see that England is trying to make trade agreements with China, the rest of the world is not going to be very confident in the U.S. dollar, and they're going to start getting out of it. And once you start losing confidence in a currency, well, it's game over for it. It may happen overnight. It may take a couple of months. It may take a year or two. But this is basically planted the seed to the rest of the world that to trust the U.S. to do the right thing with investments is not the best way to go. So you will see gold, especially gold, but you will see gold and silver rise in the future because of this, because people will flock to commodities, especially when you see all of a sudden it starts to spike and everybody will start getting into it. So that's what I plan to do, provided it happens. If I see before this year ends gold go over 1,400 or I see silver go over 24, I'll sell 10% of what I have, which of course, like I said, is below what I paid for it. So I'm making a profit in that sense. And then I'll just wait for either Janet Yellen to open her mouth and talk about tapering, which she won't do, which will affect the market and bring the price down again, or just wait for the fiscal cliff to come again and they have to talk about it, because you know they'll do this again where it's last minute, and you'll see how the market will react, and I'll just buy back what I sold plus more. Now, I can't guarantee this will happen. I'm not telling anybody this is what you should do or even agree with it. Some people are interested in what I have to say and what I plan to do, so that's why I'm posting this video. What you do is ultimately up to you. But like I said back in April of this year, when I told people that I was going to sell a little bit of my gold and silver when I saw that dip coming, I did just that, and I sold a lot of my graded coins for a lot more than what I paid for them. And when that dip happened, I turned around and got basically all of what I got back, plus a lot more, basically for free. I spent no money, because basically what I did was took the profits that I got from selling the graded coins that I did at that right time, waited for that dip that I knew was coming, and I bought it all back, plus more. So that's what I plan on doing again. So I've learned my lessons throughout the time that I've been here. I know what to do and when to do it. I don't always get things right. No one does. But we'll see what happens. So let me know what you guys think. And if you think it's a good idea or you appreciate my information, give it a thumbs up and share it. And other than that, thanks for watching. And if anybody's interested in any of my Oregon pyramids, I will post the links in the information box of how you could look at my Facebook page, or you can go directly to the website. This is technically a one-of-a-kind piece. I'll show you. It even has the Chinese good luck tokens. There'll be more descriptions in the website. Basically, when I say one of a kind, it means even if I make more of these, no two will ever be the same, because these are all handmade. These take about 4 or 5 hours to make on average. But I will not be able to make another one of these again until at least next spring, because the temperature outside has to be at least 70 degrees for this resin to set properly. So this is the only one I made in this particular pyramid. So there may be another never made. So we'll see. But thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy the rest of your night. Peace.